The 2026 World Cup is stacked with giants as usual: Argentina, France, Brazil, England. But behind those super teams are the real stories: countries ending 28-year exiles, tiny islands crashing the party, and first-timers who've never seen their flag on this stage. These are the 10 biggest World Cup droughts that just ended. Kicking things off at number 10, we've got Algeria, a team that's been fighting ghosts since the 80s. They're back at the World Cup for the first time since 2014, ending a 12-year wait and taking their total appearances to 5. Old school fans still think about Spain 1982, when Algeria beat West Germany and Chile, but got dumped out anyway after the infamous disgrace of Gijón, that non-game between West Germany and Austria that basically froze them out on goal difference. That sense of being robbed has lived in the identity of the team ever since. This version of Algeria is built to be a nightmare draw. Riyad Mahrez might be past his Manchester City peak, but in the Saudi Pro League, he's still a genius on the ball, with a left foot that can flip a game off, one set piece or one cut inside cross. Up front, Amin Gouiri gives them a modern 9 who can drop in, combine and finish, backed by midfielders like Ismail Benasser and Houssem Aouar, who can actually keep the ball under pressure instead of just launching it. Give Algeria a compact block, transition space and a bit of emotion, and you've suddenly got the team that once pushed Germany to extra time in 2014 back on the biggest stage, older, nastier and absolutely ready to ruin somebody's tournament. Sliding into number 9, we've got South Africa, the hosts of 2010, finally crashing another World Cup party. Historically, Bafana Bafana's relationship with the tournament has been stop-start. They only debuted in 1998, went again in 2002, then hosted in 2010 with the Vuvuzelas, Shakira and Chabalala's top corner banger, and then disappeared. 3 straight World Cups missed. By 2026, that's a 16-year drought finally snapped. This version of South Africa is way more structured than the meme-era highlights suggest. At the back, Ronwen Williams has turned into a proper leader in goal, the kind of calm presence you want when the stadium's going crazy. In midfield, Teboho Mokoena gives them a modern engine, range of passing, long shots, and the legs to cover ground for 90 minutes. Up front, Percy Tau is still the chaos merchant, drifting wide, popping up between lines, drawing fouls and turning broken plays into chances. He's exactly the kind of player who can flip a tight group stage game with one moment. Put that all together and you've got a team with nothing to lose, solid tournament experience from AFCON, and just enough firepower to turn a safe seed into a very uncomfortable 90 minutes. Quick pause now. If you're enjoying these stories, hit like and subscribe to Goal 90 so you don't miss our next videos. Let's continue. At number 8, it's Scotland, a team whose fans have basically grown up on World Cup heartbreak stories instead of memories. Their last appearance was France 98, which means a full 28 years without seeing the Tartan army on this stage. Before that, Scotland kept qualifying but never got past the group, always the side that went close but just missed out on that one extra goal or result. So when they finally break the drought for 2026, it won't feel like just another qualification. It'll feel like a curse cracking. This version of Scotland is built around leaders. Andy Robertson is still the emotional engine at left back, bombing forward and dragging the tempo up when the game goes flat. In midfield, John McGinn brings that scrappy, never stop running energy, while Scott McTominay has turned into a clutch scorer in big qualifiers, ghosting into the box at the perfect moment. They're not going to out-talent France or Argentina, but that's not the point. Scotland are dangerous because they defend deep as a unit, fight for every second ball, and are lethal on set pieces. In a tricky group, this is exactly the kind of team that can send a big name home early. Cracking the list at number 7 is Norway, the team everyone expected at a World Cup years ago, but somehow kept missing. Their history on this stage is short but spicy. 1994 and 1998 were their golden moments, with tough, disciplined sides that could frustrate anyone. And then radio silence. That's what makes this return so loud. This time, Norway don't just have a decent squad, they've got one of the deadliest finishers on the planet in Erling Haaland. Give him half a chance. One cross, one bad clearance, and it's in the net. Behind him, Martin Ødegaard runs the show. At Arsenal, he's turned into a press-resistant, line-breaking playmaker, and for Norway, he's the brain, deciding when they slow it down, when they overload, and when they go direct. Add in players like Alexander Sørloth, Fredrik Arsnes, and a backline that knows how to sit compact and suffer, and suddenly, they're not just fun, they're a serious problem. Put Norway in a group with one giant and 2 beatable teams, and they can absolutely turn that into a round of 16 or even quarter-final run if Haaland catches fire. Dropping in at number 6, Austria, the team that always felt solid but disappeared from World Cups for nearly 3 decades. Their World Cup story peaked way back in the 70s and 80s with that famous win over West Germany in 1978, and their last appearance came in 1998. Since then, Euros here and there, some strong qualifying runs, but never enough enough to make it onto the biggest stage again. That 28-year gap means most younger Austrian fans have never seen their country at a World Cup. This 2026 version of Austria is built like a proper tournament side. Even if David Alaba isn't at his absolute peak anymore, his presence and experience at the back still give them authority and calm. In midfield, you've got workers and ball players like Konrad Laimer and Xaver Schlager, who can press all game but still keep the ball moving instead of just lumping it long. Up front, Marko Arnautovic and Michael Gregoritsch give them that classic Austrian edge, big, awkward to mark, and ruthless on crosses and set pieces. Put all that in a compact 4-2-3-1 or 4-4-2, and suddenly Austria becomes that annoying team nobody wants in their group because they're so hard to break down and so dangerous on dead balls. And if you think a debutant like Uzbekistan is scary, wait till you see what happens when tiny islands and football-obsessed underdogs finally break into the World Cup for the very first time. Crashing in at number 4, it's Jordan, a team that spent years being almost there in Asia and has finally smashed through the ceiling. Jordan has never been to a World Cup before this. They've had big nights in the Asian Cup, scared giants like Australia, and built a reputation as one of those gritty West Asian sides you never enjoy playing. But the World Cup was always for someone else. 2026 changes that. For the first time ever, Jordan's flag is in the World Cup draw, not just in the stands. This version of Jordan is dangerous because it blends raw emotion with real quality. Musa Al-Tamari on the wing is the headline guy, fast, fearless, and happy to take on 2 defenders by himself. Up top, a mobile striker like Yazan Al-Naimat gives them a constant outball, always running channels, always forcing mistakes. Behind them, the midfield is packed with runners who don't mind turning a game into a battle. Put Jordan in a group with 1 giant and 2 winnable games, and suddenly it gets tricky. They press like every minute matters. They love being underdogs, and in a low-scoring tournament, 1 moment of Al-Tamari magic is enough to flip everything. Sliding into 3rd place, it's Cape Verde, the tiny island nation that just blew up every only big countries qualify myth. For decades, Cape Verde was barely on the World Cup map. They didn't even enter early qualifiers, and when they did, they were always a fun AFCON story, never a serious World Cup threat. That flipped on the 13th of October 2025 when they beat Eswatini 3-0 in Praia to top their CAF group ahead of Cameroon and qualify for their first ever World Cup. That win didn't just book a ticket, it made them the 2nd smallest nation by population and the smallest by land area ever to reach a men's World Cup. The squad is a mix of homegrown players and a huge diaspora spread across Europe. Captain Ryan Mendes is their all-time top scorer and most capped player, the guy who takes big penalties and big moments. Around him, you've got experienced winger Gary Rodriguez, midfield creator Ramiro Montero, and rising forward Dylon Livramento, who scored in the decisive qualifier. At the back, Dublin-born centre-back Roberto Pico Lopez anchors the defence and brings serious leadership. Why are they a problem in 2026? Because they already know how to suffer and still win. AFCON knockout runs, tight 1-goal games, long travel, hostile crowds. They've lived all of that and come out stronger. Give Cape Verde a compact shape, a fast break, and 1 set piece, and suddenly a seeded favourite is staring at a 1-0 loss to a country of barely 500,000 people. Coming in at number 2, it's Curaçao, the little blue island that just broke football. Before 2026, Curaçao had 0 World Cup appearances under their own flag. Their whole story was qualifying heartbreaks and being that fun Gold Cup team that might nick a result but never make it to the main stage, with the 2019 quarterfinal their biggest flex. That all changed with an unbeaten run through CONCACAF and a tense 0-0 draw away to Jamaica that sent them through and made them the smallest nation ever to qualify for a men's World Cup by population and area. This squad is low-key stacked. You've got the Bacuna brothers, Leandro and Juninho, running midfield with top-level European experience, creative winger Kenji Gore buzzing between the lines, and forwards like Jurgen Locadia or Tahith Chong who can hurt you on the break. Behind them, veterans like keeper Eloy Room give calm, big game energy. Add in Dick Advocaat, a 78-year-old serial international coach who's turned their Dutch diaspora talent into a disciplined pressing machine, and you've got a debutant that absolutely nobody wants in their group. They're organised, lethal in transition, and playing with pure nothing to lose energy. Classic giant killing material. Topping the list at number 1, it's Haiti, the most emotional comeback story of this entire World Cup. Haiti's last trip to the finals was West Germany 1974, when Emmanuel Sanon scored that famous goal past Dino Zoff and briefly stunned Italy before they crashed out in the group. Then the lights went out for 52 years. No more World Cups, just political chaos, federation problems, and near misses. For 2026, they qualified in the most CONCACAF way possible. Home games played in Curaçao because Port-au-Prince is too dangerous, a French coach, Sébastien Mignet, who'd never even set foot in Haiti, and a 2-0 win over Nicaragua to finally seal top spot in their group. On the pitch, this team is built to punch up. Dakens Nazon, the all-time top scorer, is a nightmare to defend, drops deep, spins in behind, and hits from anywhere. France Di Piero gives them a big, aggressive target man, while in midfield, Jean Rickner, Bellegarde, and Danley Jean-Jacques bring real top-league intensity and ball carrying. At the back, veteran keeper Johnny Placide glues it all together with big save experience. Give Haiti a noisy stadium, a bit of chaos, and space to counter, and you're looking at the ultimate do not underestimate them team, exactly the kind of underdog that can drag a favourite into a street fight and knock them out. If you enjoyed these drought breaker stories, hit like, subscribe to Goal 90, and stick around to watch our next World Cup deep dive. That's our list of the biggest World Cup droughts finally broken. Tell us in the comments which of these underdogs are you secretly backing in 2026, and go watch our next video on your screen.